All right, House of Payne fans, the final video to wrap up this week's episode of the show. Season 12, episode 19, They Call Me Chef Payne. And keep in mind that next week are the final 3 episodes of season 12, so I don't think we're going to see any more House of Payne in the near future. Because remember, they were literally about to film the next season and the strike happened, so... yeah, we won't see any more episodes until like mid to late 2024, depending on how long the strike lasts. So just keep that in mind. All right. So again, episode 19, They Call Me Chef Payne. Part of me is giving this score. Oh, actually, I forgot to give the score for episode 18. Oops. I'll put that in the comments of episode 18. I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10, but only because of Hayden and Jaden, how they get a good amount of screen time, a good amount of dialogue. We see more of their personality on display, and I liked it. So that's why this episode is getting an 8 out of 10. The other part of the episode, the main plot being Curtis and his feelings about not being the caterer of the wedding, didn't really care for it all that much. All right, so before moving forward, like and subscribe. And let's talk about the B plot first. So essentially at school, Hayden and Jaden are going to be a part of like this Black History play and whatnot, which... first of all, I appreciate that because, you know, it seems like lately more and more schools and states are opting to remove, like, you know, certain aspects of history pertaining to Black people, you know, just taking it out of the history books and making it where teachers aren't able to teach it. And I think that's really messed up. So this was pretty wholesome to have these two in a play. Now, Jaden is nervous because he has stage fright. And you have Hayden, who is very sassy. She is literally Jasmine 2.0. And she's like teasing her brother because he has stage fright. You know, she's all confident. Oh, you know, I got this. I'm Miss Truth. I got this. I know what I'm going to say. I'm ready to be a star. But CJ and Jasmine encourage, you know, Jaden that, you know, it's going to be okay. And they'll help him, you know, get prepped for the event. So later on, they're kind of practicing the speeches, and, you know, Jaden is the one who's fully prepared. He knows all of his words. He's prepped because, you know, his older sister and dad helped him out. It turns out that Jasmine actually did a, you know, report on the individual that Jaden is going to be talking about. So, what is it? Du Bois. And, you know, as a result, he is ready to go. Hayden, on the other hand, she's nervous because, you know, they do like a practice run of their speeches and she's forgetting words and everything. But then, you know, there's a good sit down about the importance of talent and how that's not always enough. You need to have hard work behind it. And I think that's kind of interesting because it's almost like a flip of that one episode of House of Payne where Jasmine learns about prayer from Aunt Ella. And she's like, oh, well, I'll just pray for everything and good things happen. And they do. But then at the end of the episode, she's reminded that, you know, hey, it's not just about prayer. Faith without works is dead. So instead of just praying for everything, you know, make sure you show God you're putting in some effort in order to make things happen. You know, like whether it be a spelling test or whatever, make sure you're doing your part too. So from there, you know, they promise to help her out and everything is good. And like I said, I think one of my favorite moments of this is when Jaden is feeling nervous and Hayden is, you know, kind of making fun of him. And then Jasmine turns around and gives a look to her little sister and she just stops. And I'm like, I like that. That was probably my favorite moment of the episode there. Just a little moment that shows that these are, you know, really siblings here. And the funny part is, like, if Jasmine ever has kids and has a daughter, yeah, it's going to be a little her and she's not going to know how to handle it. So from there, we go over to the main plot line of the episode. So Curtis and Ella are over at Calvin's loft, you know, with Laura, and they're talking about planning for the big day. And Curtis is pretty dismissive of everything. I think at this point they're talking about like the wedding food menus and whatnot. And, you know, he's just being grumpy and decides to leave. So from there, they go back home. And it turns out that, you know, he's in his feelings a bit because of the fact that, you know, why didn't they ask me to, you know, cater the wedding? It's like, well, Curtis, you didn't really speak up about it. You just got all huffy and mad and left. So when Laura and Calvin do show up, oh, actually before that, Ella says, Curtis, like, don't get some idea in your head and then try to, you know, map it out because of the fact that, you know, you've never done an event big as a wedding, like you did like a family reunion or something with Floyd, but then you run out of food. But, you know, at this wedding is going to be a lot of people. So pretty much, you know, Curtis has an idea in his head and he doesn't want anybody to try to stop him. So when the two do come over there, I think it's because Curtis calls him over and he like has his own like, you know, sales pitch about being the one to do the wedding. But the thing is, they already put down the deposit for the caterer because, well, Dad, you didn't say you wanted to do it and you just left the condo in such a hurry that before we had anything fully confirmed for the food for the wedding, we put down the deposit like right after you left. So, I mean, hey. So then, you know, he gets upset about it. And thankfully, you know, later on, Ella checks Curtis about it, basically saying, hey, you know, this isn't about you. This is their special day and they want to do it the way they want to. So then Laura and Calvin do come over to apologize. But honestly, I don't see what they're apologizing for because they aren't mind readers. You know, like Curtis was the one who had it in his mind that, you know, I should be the one to do it. But you never spoke up about it. And as a result, they do have a compromise where it's like, hey, how about this? How about you cater the rehearsal dinner? And then apparently Laura has like this famous professional formal professional athlete as an uncle. And if he likes the food, there's a good chance, you know, word of mouth, Curtis's business will be put out there some more. So from there, at the end of the episode, Ella is bringing out some cake for everybody. And then she mentions like, oh, you know, I just thought about it. I can do y'all's wedding cake. And it's like, ooh, we actually put down the deposit for a bakery already. So then Ella gets mad and it's funny, but also petty. She just takes the cake out of everybody's hands. Like, you know what? I didn't want to make your funky cake anyway. And I'm like, well, thankfully Curtis like, well, hey, Ella, don't take it too personally. So this was an okay episode. And ironically enough, like I said, the Hayden and Jaden stuff is why I gave it an 8 out of 10. So with that being said, I still can't believe these two are working towards the wedding because I still don't see why they're getting married. But yeah, that's all I got. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.